Good day and welcome to this week's episode of the TechMedia Business Tips videos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Now, we were going to start talking about online marketing and marketing ideas that are cost effective but very efficient in getting your name out there and enabling you to start engaging with the clients that are supposed to help you, achieve your vision and get you to start working. However, the few questions that we have been getting um, have demonstrated and displayed something that I'm quite concerned about that I thought maybe we need to talk about quickly, and that is fear. You know, a lot of the questions, people are afraid, people are fearful. Yes, we have to acknowledge going into business is taking a risk, but generally we have to develop an appetite for risk. That's the only way that we can go into business. That's the only way we can actually be able to, take the steps that are necessary for us to be able to succeed in business. Have an appetite for risk. You need to have it. At the end of the day, you can't be overly careful and sit there and think, what if I try and what if I fail and consider the reward, more than you consider the risk. Because sometimes you find that if you focus on the risk so much, the reward, the value of the reward in your mind, in your understanding diminishes and makes you very, very fearful. So you find yourself not able to go into the business, to not able to at least start implementing, or even just planning. So at the end of the day, for me, there isn't going to be a day when it's going to be easy for you to just wake up and say, I'm starting a business, and not have to, overcome the fears that are involved with it and overcome, the risks and those elements that are involved in you starting a business. There is always going to be, those elements of fear that you have to overcome. So as far as I'm concerned, bite the bullet, and just go for it. That's the only way. It will never, never, ever be easier. Even when you are approaching investors, this is the reason why sometimes some of us will fail to secure the money that we need when we approach investors, because they can see the fear. They sense the fear that we are displaying. There needs to be a level of confidence that you have in your idea. There needs to be a level of confidence that says, what, I've got this idea, I believe in it, I've done the homework, I've studied the market, and I think I can make it work. So as far as I'm concerned, you need to just go out there and do it. Be confident. At the end of the day, don't be afraid of failure. Failure, best case, is a learning curve. You will learn how not to do something. And then when you come again, you try it in a different way. You try it with a different energy. You try it, and so for me, as far as I'm concerned, don't let fear be a limiting factor. Don't let fear hinder you from going out there and trying out your ideas. Because if you consider the fear of the risk more than the reward, you can never make it work. You can never make it work. So the reward needs to be motivating for you. The love of what you are doing needs to be a motivator for you to go out there and start to do what you need to do. So at the end of the day, entrepreneurs are people that have an appetite for risk. Yes, some naturally have it, some have to develop it. And you develop it by ignoring your natural fear of risk. Yes, it's human nature to be afraid of taking a step into the unknown. But at the end of the day, if we don't start taking those steps into the unknown, we can never really know what it can become. The worst case, if you fail, you come back again, you try something else. But you have to keep trying, because it is when you try something and you are able to build on it and make a success of it that you can leave a legacy for generations to come. I always say this, and I will say it until somebody hears me. Your children will never inherit your degree. They will never inherit your certificates, your experience, your qualifications. but they can inherit your business. And you can, by the time you leave it to them, you would have taken time to also teach them the lessons that you learned, getting to where you got to. And we can be able to start generational wealth doing it that way. There's nothing wrong with going to school and so on and so forth. We need that so that we enable ourselves to be teachable, to have understanding and intellect in terms of the way the world works and the markets are working and so on and so forth. However, at the end of the day, we have to take the steps. We have to take the steps. Our children deserve us taking those steps. Our grandchildren, generations from now, deserve us taking those steps so that they will not have to start where we started. They have to have a better start because you took the chance, you took the time, you took the risk and started. You have to take the risk and start. All right. So, I'm sorry, but like I say, some of these questions that when I look at them, in as much as I will read what it says, but I also, try and discern, the spirit behind the question. And like I say, most of the ones that I've seen were reflecting a lot of fear, and fear will not enable us to go anywhere. Okay, so let's start those businesses. Even if you are just going to start by writing it down, planning it, doing a business plan, but start. You have to start. You have to start. Overcome the fear and take those first steps into starting the business. Have an awesome day and do go and start.